I mean, it's where the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals is, which covers Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi. It's centrally located so that people in the Keys don't have to fly to Houston. They would just have to go to New Orleans. Of course, it's not that much closer, but it's closer. And it's closer to where the rig is, at the bottom of the Gulf. It's off our coast. It's closer to where the majority of the claimants are going to be. It's brainer to me that you do not hold that limitation action in Houston. But if it's proper, if they have jurisdiction in its proper venue, it's not the most convenient forum. So they could do it. They could transfer it under forum nonconvenience, which means that even though everything's correct, it's just not the most convenient forum out of the correct possible courts. So the correct court could be New Orleans, could be Houston, but New Orleans is better. Therefore, they're going to transfer it over there, in my opinion. And I could be wrong, but I think that I think it's going to end up in New Orleans. And if it's not, that's a travesty. And
your office is representing some people that have claims for losses due to the oil spill. Is that right?
That's right.
And if someone needs to contact you because they feel like they've suffered a loss and they need some legal representation, and this kind of looks like a rat's nest of lawsuits and a snake pit of lawyers, they can call you, Arlen Bro, and you can maybe help them out, right?
That's right.
So how can they reach you?
I've got a toll-free number. It's 800-256-5674.
Okay, well, Arlen, I really appreciate you letting us, keep updated about these legal developments. They sound like it's pretty heavy duty.
Yeah, it is. And I tell you, the news just keeps coming out. And, the part about it that's going to be sad is when they get it finally capped and the oil, after a while, it's just not newsworthy. But the damage is still going to be there.
Right.
And so when it becomes not newsworthy, I hope everybody doesn't just turn their backs on it and, and forget about it and just go on their daily lives. I mean, I think everybody needs to remember, this is a real game changer for Louisiana and the whole Gulf Coast. And we need to hold their feet to the fire. We need to make sure that BP is responsible for cleaning this thing up, right. Not just now, because they've quit cleaning up in Prince William Sound. And there's still oil there.
Wow.
And there's still fishermen that fish certain types of species that stopped the day that oil spill happened and have never done it again.
And it's only really the trial lawyers that are out bringing these big companies to court, representing the regular folks who have sustained losses, that hold these guys' feet to the fire.
Right. I mean, those guys, of course, there were tons of injuries, but, those poor guys that were at ground zero were basically incinerated. So it's just devastating.
Yeah, it really is.
Arlen, I have a series of questions for you.
Sure.
Let's talk about the money factor of this oil spill. Do we know from previous oil spills like the Exxon Valdez or whatnot that some companies in the past have paid out in claims?
Well, the problem with looking at the Valdez,
okay,
is that, and what scares most people like myself is that they hit him with a punitive damage claim that was very, very large, the Exxon, and then the Supreme Court reversed it. I don't know if it was like $600 million or $400 million, which sounds like a lot of money, and it would be
not if you're Exxon
to me or to Russell or Carmen. But but when you're awarding that to a whole, basically a whole town or a city that suffered like that, it does nothing. So even if you get money in a courtroom, that doesn't mean that there's somebody standing outside of the courthouse writing checks.
Right.
And there's a common misconception, like the coffee spill. Remember the lady that supposedly got two? That's
the McDonald's. That's right.
Right.
No, she didn't get $2.5 million. She had basically like a series of 8 skin grafts in her groin area, and it was reduced. And I think she got a little bit plus. She got her medical bills plus a little bit more for some damages, but they erased all of that. So, there's the appeals courts. So sorry for running on like that with that question, but
Right.
I'm just worried about what the appeals courts are going to do to anything that we get
Right.
from BP.
Well, from what I know in the past, when these large companies get these judgments put against them, it seems to me like they go to a higher court, like you said, the Supreme Court. And it seems to me a lot of the times it's reduced or reversed. What I'm trying to figure out is, do we know a value, say, like, what is BP worth? What is BP capable of paying out in claims if need be?
They are capable. I think that's one of the things that the oil companies really didn't want people to know is just how much money they make.
Well, we have the president, Obama. He says that there was a profit of like $16 billion last year for BP. I think
1 year.
That's right.
Right.
1 year, and the first quarter of this year was $5.6 billion is the one they're kicking around in the news. So if it's anywhere close to that, even if you take a year's profit away from these guys, I mean, they're going to be fine after.
Right.
And any company should be able to withstand something like that, and taking a year or two away. I don't know what would happen to a Transocean if they're not able to limit, or how the Halliburton's a Dubai company now.
Uh-oh.
I think Transocean's the only one that's over here. British Petroleum, of course, is in Europe, and Halliburton's in Dubai. And then I guess they moved that when Dick Cheney was vice president. I think he didn't. Before that, I think he was in America. But anyway, I guess there's some favorable tax laws or something to move that over to Dubai.
Right.
But anyway. BP is going to be fine, no matter what they have to pay out, because it's going to be billions, I think, and I hope.
Most definitely.
They're going to pay all legitimate claims. Even if it goes above the $75 million limit.
Now, let me bring up one other thing. As of right now, BP still can recover all oil that comes out of this break in the line. In other words, right now we think they're recovering about 20%, correct?
I'm not sure what the percentage is, but that could be right. Yeah,
okay.
They are recovering some.
Well, let's say, for instance, when they get it to 100%, all that oil is still going to be for BP to process and to make money from, correct?
That's right.
Because this, I'm going to call it a hole, is supposed to have billions upon billions of dollars worth of oil in it, correct?
I believe so, yeah. It's a very, very valuable well.
Correct. Or they wouldn't, initially invested the type of money they did to try to get the oil from it.
Right.
So we know they're going to be able to produce plenty of money to pay claims. But I know the claims are very widespread. I have friends that have property in Destin, Florida, and they're having cancellations like crazy, because they do these weekly rentals on condos and whatnot. So it's affecting more than Louisiana. It's affecting Louisiana, Alabama, Florida, and no telling where else. When we don't even know when it's going to stop yet. But I just wanted to try to get an idea of what you thought. It sounds right now like they're in a very good cash position to where they will be able to probably pay most of the claims that are legitimately brought to the table.
Yeah, I think so, and I hope so. And right now they're talking about, if the current goes like they predict, it may wrap around the Keys in Florida and
Correct.
go up the East Coast.
Correct.
So you got a whole other coast that's in danger of having those tar balls roll up on their beaches and ruining. I have a condo over there also that was booked out for the whole summer.
Right.
And I've only had one cancellation so far, and that's because they've done a good job of keeping the oil away from the beach there. But if some of it rolls up there, yeah, you'll have nothing but mass cancellations. And I know the Portofino is already.
We're talking about Pensacola.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's one in Pensacola, right?
Correct.
And they've already hired a lawyer.
Correct.
To do that, to pursue that.